It's happened to me, it's happened to bigger channels, and it could happen to you. Within minutes, your channel's taken over, content deleted, your computer and the rest of your files encrypted, leaving you completely powerless to do anything. But it can all be easily avoided, and I'm going to tell you how to do that on this episode of Your Geek Fix. Chances are you've already heard about multiple YouTubers who have had their channels completely taken over or having files encrypted and losing all their data or their servers. But there's not a lot of details about what exactly occurred, just little bits and pieces. For example, check out Linus Tech Tip's most recent video where they had this happen and completely lost control of their channel and had some difficulty being able to get that control back. The main reason why I'm making this video is because I am very convinced that not only is this a serious problem, but also something that's only going to grow. It's actually going to be smaller and smaller channels, and more people are going to start getting these offers because most people are out there, not just on YouTube, but have some type of social media. It doesn't matter if it's a Facebook account or an Instagram account or a TikTok. No matter what it is, if your name is out there with some type of social media account, you're going to receive an attractive offer that's going to be difficult not to at least show some interest in and will be your complete undoing. Now, I'm aware of this because I've had it happen to myself. I have not been a victim, though. I have not had the problems happen that I'm going to be describing to you because, luckily, I've been smart from the first case forward. There was some strange things about my first experience that at least cued me into the fact that this was something suspicious. I had received an email from a company called Chasing Carrots. It's a real company. They have a real game. And the email looked actually fairly legit. I would say of all the ones that I've received now that are attempting to do this, this was probably the one that looked the most realistic initially. And these emails usually start off by asking, are you interested? We have this thing, we'd like to collaborate with you. We're willing to pay you. Are you interested in this proposal? Now the hard thing is, I get these kind of emails from real companies with real offers, and that part is pretty consistent with what you would actually get. So for that reason, I didn't see a lot of problem with saying, yeah, I'm interested in hearing a little bit about what you have to say about it or what the situation is. Feel free and contact me with more information. And because it's only an email that they sent initially, there's no real danger or problem, I guess, in that. Now, with other companies we've collaborated with, this is usually where they contact me and they'll ask me a lot of questions about what I would want to do in most cases. Sometimes they do send out actual contracts or ideas or deals, and sometimes they do send this in an attachment form. Now in this particular case, the company replies to me and says, great, here's what we're offering, and here is a contract, and here's also a video that shows the product. And this could look legitimate. I mean, these are some things that you would pretty standard get from some companies. But the first thing that clued me into the fact that this might not be a real thing was that they were offering some kind of outrageous amounts for what they were asking me to do. Another thing that was odd about it had to do with the files that they wanted me to download. The video file nothing was too special about that. In fact, literally, it was linking to their actual site's actual demo video. But the contract was interesting because the contract in this case was a document file, but it was bigger than the video file. Which you gotta ask yourself, how big is this document file? I knew something was fishy. I went ahead and scanned it with my software. I did it also with Google, and I also scanned it with AVG. And both of them came back and said, yeah, this is not a safe file. This is actually known Trojan is what it called it. It also identified phishing software. And this is really the important thing about how they get you. Generally what will happen is you'll click on the file and nothing happens, or it seems like nothing happened. It doesn't open, it's difficult to open, you have other kinds of issues, and so a lot of these individuals will email back to the company and say, hey, your file isn't open, can you send me another one? At this point in time, the company doesn't care. They're not going to send you anything else because you've already unpacked what they wanted you to do in the first place. Linus Tech Tips did share that this is kind of what started things for them, is that they'd open up a certain file, and when they did so, it didn't seem like it did anything, and what it actually did was exploited the part of their system that allows for you to keep certain things open. For example, so you don't have to continually log into YouTube or into Amazon or things like that. And it used that to be able to access their account and gave them control of their YouTube channel. And from there, all sorts of havoc occurred, and they had a hard time compensating for this because every time they would make a change or try to switch things back, they still had that exploit to be able to switch it back again. And honestly, that's not as bad as it could be. The problem with some of this phishing software is that it can go as far as to encrypt everything that you have. And this is usually where they'll step in and say that they're happy to unencrypt it for you for some kind of large, outrageous fee. This has happened a lot in hospital systems. Somebody within their organization opens up a file they shouldn't, that they think came from a legitimate organization, and the next thing they know, everything, all their records are suddenly encrypted, and suddenly there's a ransom to be able to unencrypt it, which they have no intention of really doing even if you pay. This means you could lose everything on your computer. It could be locked down completely. You could lose all your content, all your videos, all your personal files, photos. This is no small thing. And at the same time, it's all about numbers. The more people that they send these sorts of invites to, the more likely they are to have at least one victim. And it doesn't take a lot to be able to be successful. And that means that if you aren't aware of some of this, you are more likely to fall prey to what appears to be a good opportunity. So for this reason too, I think that they're more likely to start hitting more small channels and individuals who are starting to make themselves known on other types of social media. I mean, who that has a few hundred subscribers wouldn't be interested in a deal to be able to promote a video game or to be able to sell some kind of product and get something back in return? And they're going to make sure that it's something that is very attractive that they're sending to you and looks legitimate. So what is the best way to avoid this altogether? How have I had, I've received several of these. Some of them are very, very obvious. Hello, dear your geek fix. Thank you very much this. I am CEO Very Important. This company is good, and many watch its progression. You too will make most money by working with us for social media. This opportunity you cannot fail. Just need post 2 video of product for no risk, and we will pay you most kind. When video post, you earn 700. If not post, you earn 300, because we trust, and your time is important. So please, we collaborate for money? No need to call. Just open and read attached file and follow the best instructions and earn now. You are very blessed. Nyong Miller, CEO. They almost say this is a virus, but others can look pretty legitimate and can look like anything else I would receive from other companies. My standard mode of operation these days is to contact the company that supposedly is sending it to me. Now, if they say that it's coming from their own PR department, which is not very typical in all truth. Most companies pay for third parties to do a lot of this work. But if you do receive something directly from the company, contact their PR department and see if this is something that is legitimate or real. And that's what I did in the case of the Chasing Carrots. I contacted them by email. I said, look, I received this email. Is this something that's actually yours? I mean, if it is, I'd be happy to talk to you about it further. But if it's not, I think you should know that this is out there and that they're using your name. And sure enough, they came back and said, no, we don't even have a PR department, or we don't have any kind of promotional programs that we're running. This is a small company. And good for them for getting on it and being so quick to respond to me. And hopefully that was helpful to them. And I hope this also kind of promotes them in some ways. If it's a third party that says that they're representing a company, again, look at the numbers. On the ones that I've received, they actually have real numbers from real companies because they think you're not going to call them. And so you verify that it's tied to the actual company first, then call the number, talk to the person, and find out what they say. Is this something they actually sent? Is this something that's real? And maybe work with them more one-on-one. Remember, the primary purpose of this is getting people that are going to impulsively click on those contracts or on those document files or PDF files that they send to be able to execute the file. Also be careful of web pages and companies that offer to help you connect with different types of collaborations or affiliations. Some of these are not real, and their whole purpose is also to quickly find those people who are more likely to be easy victims. It's better to be cautious and maybe even a little bit uncomfortable than to have everything that you care about lost. Like I said, I hadn't heard a lot of people go through and explain this problem very well. And hopefully this is helpful. This isn't usually what I make videos about, but at the same time I thought it would be really important to share because it's something that's important. I don't think anyone's really been talking about it, and yet there's a good chance that you're going to become a target. Also, check out the types of videos that we typically make. Be sure to subscribe and click that reminder bell so you know when new videos come out. And stay tuned for more from your Geek Fix.